What's up, nail friends? In today's video, I'm going to be doing my own nails and doing a voiceover on them. This set is a longer baby boomer Valentine's Day design, and it's going to be kind of like step by step. So if you guys are interested in that, just keep watching. Starting on some semi-bare nails, I removed my past set. I have a little bit of leftover product, but we're just going to cover that anyway. The tool I'm going to be using to push my skin back is my Luminary Nail Systems Cuticle tool. I like this tool because it kind of has a rounded head here, so you can kind of get up and under the cuticle skin and kind of push it out of the way. And yeah, so that's what I'm using to push the skin back. I'm going to flip this tool around, and on the other end there's a scraper, and I'm just going to gently scrape up the skin, which will just help get a cleaner and closer application. Everything you do, you want to do it very, very soft and gently. Don't put a lot of pressure, don't push down on the nail, just gently push the cuticles back. If they're not moving easily, then they're not moving easily, and you might need to use some liquid. So sometimes I used to spray an alcohol on. I know that's drying, but the liquid will help push the cuticles a little bit easier out of the way. As you can see here, I'm now scraping. I'm just gently scraping from one side down the left side, and then I turn and do the other side, just going down that one side. You're not really going to have to do a lot of this because we are going to use some tools to prep, but this is just a step I like to do at this point. The first tool I'm going to be using is a flame tool, a flame bit. I actually sell these on Nail Throne. This is the Luminary Nail Systems flame bit. So I go and I'm pushing the very, very point of it into my cuticle area, and that'll just help pick up and release a lot of that skin there, because if you have that skin in the way, your nails will lift right at the cuticle area. So we want to make sure that we're prepping well enough that the skin gets removed and your nails stick to your natural nails. So again, you're going to be very, very gentle. You're not going to be pushing in, you're not going to be pushing down, and you're not going to want to have this on a super high speed. It's just a medium speed, and you're just going to be really careful. This shouldn't hurt or feel like much at all. You can see there's a lot of skin coming up, skin you wouldn't even have noticed that was there. In between tools, I like to brush the skin off my nails like dust, and then you can kind of take a good look at what needs to be removed now. So now I've switched to this tool. This is just a soft diamond tool. I'm just going around. You can use this to prep the natural nail as well, which is taking off the shine. So I'm going around the cuticle area with this first, and then I'm just using it to take the shine off my nails. Again, just gonna want to be gentle. Don't put a lot of pressure down, and just gently remove the shine and cuticle skin. You can actually reverse your tool after and go down the right side as well, which I just didn't show here, but I did do that. Now I'm brushing off my nails again, and I'm using this other tool here. This is a nice smoothing tool. I just use it right at the cuticle skin, and this will help just get everything out of the way. It kind of pushes the skin out of the way, and if there's any little bits that are sticking out, then it'll get those too. I also reverse it and go down the other side with this tool, and it just helps really get everything out of the way so you can get a really close, clean application. After I have used all my tools, now I'm going to go in with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol, and I'm just cleansing the nail, removing all the dust off the natural nail, removing it from underneath the nail and off my hands. So now we can go in and use our prepping products. So I'm going to be using my Glitter Bells dehydrator. First, I'm just applying this all over the nail, and then I'm going to go in with the Glitter Bells acid-free primer as well. I want these nails to be semi-long, so I'm going to be using my Glitter Bells Extreme Length tips. I'm just going to cut them to length, and my Glitter Bells Hema-free monomer. So I've already applied the tips here. This is how long they are. If you shape them into a stiletto, you can have them super, super long and pointy, but I'm just taking some straight scissors here and clipping off that very tip just to make them not so long and still a tapered kind of square shape. I'm going to refine this shape though. So this is what it looks like so far. And then I'm going to go and apply a clear base of clear acrylic because I just don't like filing my natural nail and the tip together. I just find it feels weird. So I like to apply a base down before I file the nails. Some people like to file the shine off the tips before they do this. I have never had to do that. I've never found that that was a necessary step. So you can just apply your clear or cover pink, whatever you're using, over top and just leave it as is. You can apply this at the cuticle area and go over the whole nail, or just where I am right here, which is just along where the tip meets the natural nail, because I'm going to be applying a core powder anyway, so I don't really need it to be too bulky or thick around the cuticle area. So that's why I'm just applying it right where the natural nail meets the tip. And then I'm just pulling it down the tip, and this will just add a little bit of strength for me so I can hand file these and have it not be uncomfortable. And this is the Glitterbels glass slippers I'm using and the Glitterbels number 10 brush as well. Once I've got my clear base down, I of course let that dry before filing, so don't try to file them into shape without letting them dry. And I'm just filing the sidewalls and tapering them in a little bit more, just so they're really square and tapered. I'm using my Glitterbels metal file board with the refills. This is my favorite board to use because it's nice and super straight. Like, you can't bend it because it's metal. So I'm just going back and forth at the sidewalls and really shaping these just to taper them a bit more. Like I said, I want these to be really tapered, and yeah. So I'm just doing that on all the nails, and then I will show you guys what that looks like. This is how they look when they're all tapered, and I've cleansed the nails. So make sure you clean off all the dust after that. So now we're going to be going in with our Glitterbels Snowdrops White. This is the plain white. I'm applying it just below where my natural nail meets the tip. I'm kind of patting it into place right along that line to help blend it a little bit. I'm wiping off my brush, and then I'm going in and I'm going to pull this product down the tip to give full coverage. After fading my first bead down, I'm just picking up another bead, placing it right at the very tip there, and I'm kind of patting with the belly of my brush to blend that up into the first bead, and then I'm going to gently pull this down for full coverage. Make sure that you cover your tip fully, and yeah, that's how I get the Snowdrops White on. So I'm going to do that again on the pointer finger as well, applying that product along the line. I'm kind of patting it again to try and blend it. Something you can do as well is wipe off your brush and then kind of slightly pull that Snowdrops White up the nail bed there, but I'm just leaving that as is for now. So I'm just going to fade this down the nail. I'm just brushing this down. This is how they look so far. When you turn the nails on the side, you can see I've missed a little bit of product right at the side there, so you're just going to add a little bit more and brush it on, and you just want this to kind of be more even than that. You can see right here especially that I'm missing a little bit of product there, so just applying a little bit more and patting that into place, fading that down the nail, wiping off what I don't need, and trying to make it nice and even. And there we go. That's what I did for the white. So now I'm going to be going in with pink opal shimmer. So this is a core powder. It is pink opal, but it has shimmer in it. I'm just picking up a little bit of product, putting it along the line, and I'm going to pat this into place around the sides first. Then I'm going to gently drag this down and fade this into the white. So normally I would have picked something like Tinkerbell cover or Petrobel cover, but I ended up going with the pink opal shimmer. I wanted these to be a little bit more pink. I feel like that might have been a little bit of a mistake because pink opal is sort of sheer, a little bit more sheer than the other colors like Petrobel cover and Tinkerbell cover, but I will show you guys how I will fix that kind of later. So first I'm applying this at the cuticle area now after I've applied that bead along the line, and I have my finger bent in a downward position. That way no product goes into the sidewalls or into the cuticle area, and then I'm just patting that into place and then pulling that down the nail. So I'll show you guys that again on the pointer finger, how I did that, since I was talking about the color on this nail. So you can see that line didn't blend well enough, but we will adjust in a bit. So again, I'm going to apply a bead along that line. This is how I would do any kind of baby boomer or any kind of ombre fade. Again, cleaning off my brush and then pushing the products on the sides of the nail first, and then blending down the tip gently with the tip of my brush. Cleaning off my brush, picking up a bead for the cuticle area, bending my finger downward, cleaning off my brush and flattening it so it has that nice sharp point, using the point to push the product close to the cuticle area, cleaning off my brush if there's any liquid in it, and then patting it into place gently and carefully around the cuticle area. You don't want to overlap the skin, you don't want to wipe the skin, you just want to move the product where you want it to go and try not to overlap the skin at all. And then I take my brush and I pat and pull the rest of the product down, and then I'm using the belly of my brush to kind of fade that back into the white. And here's the nail so far. So I'm not loving that line there, so I'm applying a little bit more of that pink opal shimmer across the line. I'm spreading it out and then fading. I'm trying not to take too much of the product off because I want to blend that a little bit better. And then I'm doing that on the middle pointer finger as well. So if I was, like I said, using a different core powder, I think this would have turned out a little bit more blended. But because I chose the pink opal instead, you're gonna see a little bit of a transition there. So on the ring finger and the thumb, I decided to go in with all of pink opal shimmer because I love this color. And then I'm going to be doing some glitter and hearts on top for Valentine's Day. So I apply, when the nails are this long, I always apply the product right at the line, kind of like an ombre, but I'm just doing this the full nail. So I apply it along the line, I get this full tip coverage, and then I go in with my cuticle bead. You can of course go in with a cuticle bead and then do your tip after, but this is just the way I like to do it. Once I get that product on, just cleaning off my brush, and then I'm picking up another bead for the cuticle area, cleaning off my brush again. Again, trying to make sure that the tip of my brush is nice and flat and easy to use, so it's kind of pointed. And then I'm pushing the product close to the cuticle area. You can see here, don't overlap the skin. If it starts to run, clean that up quickly. And then pat the product where you want it and fade it down the nail. So I'm using the belly of my brush to kind of pull that bulky part of the product down, and then feathering it into the bottom half of the nail. I'm doing that on the thumb as well, but I just sped this up just so it wasn't too repetitive for you guys. The glitter I'm going to use for this set is one of my favorites from Glitter Bells. This is called Rhubarb Fizz. It's an iridescent glitter, but it's almost kind of peachy pink. And I'm going to use these hearts from the nail team as well. So the pre-mixed glitter is mixed with clear acrylic. So I'm just dipping my brush right into that Rhubarb Fizz, picking up the product I want, and then spreading it along from the left side down the right side. I'm going along the line in the center, and then I'm just picking up little bits and placing it where I want it, because you don't want to make this too chunky but you can actually really do whatever you want, but I didn't want to make this too chunky. It has some big chunky pieces in it, you can see there. So I'm just kind of moving them around where I want them so they're not too many in one spot. And then it has a lot of different sizes as well. So I really like this color because it's really versatile. It looks different on everything you do it on. So now I'm going in and I'm dipping into those hearts. You have to pick up a heart with some clear acrylic, so I'm using the glass slippers to pick up the hearts. I'm only using the pink hearts, so I kind of just poured a little bit out and grabbed the pink hearts for the set. I want them to be facing the nail downward, so I'm just placing them exactly where I want them, overlapping the rhubarb fizz and kind of just strategically placing them on this nail. And I do this as well on the ring finger, so that's how it looks so far. Whole set. So now we can encapsulate this design. So I'm going to be using my Glitter Bells glass slippers. When I encapsulate nails this long, I always apply it right at the tip first. I try to get my tip done before anything else. That's just the way I like to do it. So I'm placing this down, and then I'm just using my brush to gently pat and pull the product down the nail. You don't want to pull too much of the product off. You can always file if it's too bulky, but you don't want it to be too thin or the nail will just snap. So we're first applying this around the around the tip, patting it into place, cleaning off our brush, and then we will do the cuticle area and the apex in a minute here. Once I've got that down, I'm picking up a bead again for the cuticle area. This is a large round bead, placing it near the cuticle area without going right at the cuticle area. I cleaned off my brush, again made it pointy and sharp, and then with gravity my finger is bent downwards and I'm just pushing the product where I want it at the cuticle area, using the belly of my brush to spread the product down, and then I'm fading that into the bottom half of the nail. This is just to encapsulate the whole nail. I'm just adding a little bit more here on this one side because I noticed a tiny dip there and I just didn't want that. This doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to finish file them, but I do like to make my nails as smooth and perfect as I possibly can. It just makes it easier when it comes to finish filing. So I'm just applying more on the other side as well. Make sure it's really even and strong. So I'm going in again, I'm just going to show you that again. Applying the product at the tip, patting and pulling and fading that down to get full coverage. Then I'm going in at the cuticle area with the bead, cleaning off my brush, pushing into the product and flattening it, getting close to the cuticle area, and then spreading this down into the product that is already down. I like to clean up the sides, look at it from all angles, and then I noticed there was a little dip there, so I needed more. So after I've applied the two nails, I'm going back and I'm pinching with a pinching tool. My thumb, it is matte, so now it's ready to go. You don't want to pinch it too early or it'll just smush. So I do one nail, then a second nail, then I go back and pinch the first nail. And that's how I kind of do it along the whole set, if you choose to pinch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that on the rest of the nails, where I apply the product at the tip first, at the cuticle area, build up the apex and fix any mistakes I make, and then go back and pinch the other nails. So once all the nails are dry, I'm going in with a carbide bit to debulk the nails. So I don't use this bit to really shape the nails. I just go around the cuticle area and then gently around all the nails. I'm not using a lot of pressure or anything. And I like to go under the nail as well. I just do this to help debulk the nail, which will help with a little bit of hand filing, making it easier and, you know, less strain on your wrists. So just go around the cuticle area with this and then debulk anything that needs debulking. So it doesn't matter what grit file you use for this. I find I put it on just a medium speed and I don't use a lot of pressure, and then I find that that works perfectly for debulking. After I've debulked all the nails, I'm going to go in with my metal file board and file the sidewalls again, trying to make sure this looks really tapered. And then I'm going under the nail as well to make sure it comes straight out from the sidewalls, pulling my skin back to go around the cuticle area, and I just go over the whole nail to make it nice and even. I like to debulk the sides, the cuticle area, and then leave most of my apex in place. I don't really go over that too much, and then I'm just going up and down right at the tip to make sure that that is even. Now I'm going over where my apex is, even that out with the rest of the nail. You're going to want to be careful around the cuticle area. I did score my file before I started, which will make sure that it's not sharp. So make sure you do that with all your files before going and filing. You don't want to cut yourself. And then after I've dusted off the nail, I'm just going in with my glitter balls buffing block to buff the nails, and this will just remove any extra deep scratches which will show with your top coat, so you don't want that. So you just want to lightly buff the nails, don't overdo it. After filing, shaping, and buffing the nails, I'm just wiping off all the dust again. And then I'm going to go ahead and cleanse the nails to make sure there's no dust around the cuticle area, on the nails, or underneath the nails, or on the hands before we apply our top coat. So this is how the nails look. I noticed that I did file into the sides a little bit, which is exposing too much of the white, which is just going to make them not look as even and clean as I wanted. So I decided to cover that up with some crystals. I wanted to add some crystals to the set anyway, so sometimes if you do something and you make a little mistake, there's always ways you can fix it. Examples: applying chrome, applying gel polish, hand painting a design, doing stamping, covering with crystals, stuff like that. So if you do file into your colored acrylic, there are ways to kind of hide your mistakes and make it look like you meant for it to look this way. So I just went with a crystal clear crystal and some pink crystals and just went clear pink, applying these on just the side of the nails, on the 3 nails that match, and I thought that turned out pretty cute. To finish off this design, I decided to go matte and shiny instead of just all shiny. So on the Baby Boomer nails, I'm going in with my Luminary Nail Systems Empower Matte Top Coat, and I'm just applying this just all over the nail. Don't get top coat on your crystals or you'll ruin the shine. So I'm applying that on the nails, and actually I find matte top coat will help hide an unblended ombre if you need it as well. I find that the shiny will bring that out a little bit more, and the matte will make it look a little bit more blended. So I'm just applying this on those 3 nails, and then I'm going to be applying the Glitter Bells No Wipe Top Coat on the nails with the glitter and the hearts. After applying top coat on all the nails, I give them a full cure. I apply cuticle oil and I wash my hands to make sure there's no dust or anything for my photos and videos. And here is the finished design. So you can see after I've applied that matte top coat how much more blended that nail looks. This is the close-up of the thumb This is how they look when I have them straight out. I like the length a lot. I really like how tapered I made these, and I'm really liking that feature nail with the hearts on it. What do you guys think of this design? I hope some of these tips and tricks helped you for doing baby boomers and ombre designs. Let me know down below what you'd like to see next. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell next to it to be notified whenever I post. I've filmed a bunch of nail tutorials for you guys that are coming up that you're going to really like. So make sure that you are subscribed and notified for that. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.